I'm kidless and I got a shower. I'm gonna go fix my hair now. I went and dropped the kids off while I was mid styling happening, so I'm gonna go finish that. But I don't know if this is happening with the rest of you, but I'm feeling my seasonal depression setting in, and I'm struggling. But I am dressed and I showered, and I am going to, normally I like to go and get away from the house on Mondays and go, when I don't have the kids, and go walk somewhere else and do stuff, but I don't know if that I will today. So I'm just gonna go walk around my neighborhood for a little bit. So I'm gonna bring you with me. Kidless for the first time in 3 weeks. Feels really nice, except the day is going by way too fast. Past Juanita would have been freaking out that she didn't make the most of any available kid-free time, because you should clean the house when the kids aren't there, because when they're home they mess it up, or you should just sit and knit without any interruptions or whatever. But now I'm like, still those thoughts come up, but like the day is just the day, and I try not to overthink it. So even though it is, what's the date? My watch is now trying to, okay, it's the 31st, and the weather is beautiful again. We have we finally got rain, which, even though we had like no rain for a while, it helped. Like, a lot of leaves on trees are just brown and falling off, but there's just a little bit more vibrancy in some of the fall colors, and it makes me happy. I went and did my walk with Luke, and I don't know, I get really excited in October. My shoulders are up. I get really excited in October. Kind of the same in the spring, like when the first little bit of glow starts to happen with like that fresh new baby green. I feel like I want to be outside and somehow like inhale it, or I don't know. Anyways, when I went and dropped the kids off, I had to meet my mom at Home Depot today. I went and got her a chai tea latte, and then I got me one, and this is the third time I warmed it up. I put it in my cup to warm it up. Welcome to the Living Podcast. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to, like, I can edit certain stuff out, but I don't want to like start it over, because I find then I forget what I've said, or I don't know. So we're just gonna ride these little waves out, and I'm gonna ramble about a few things, and that's okay. Yeah, so this is a making podcast where I share things that I'm knitting, and rarely, I haven't done it in a while, but I haven't sewn like for pleasure in a while. So sometimes I share that, and I don't know, just talk about stuff. And I really enjoy the knitting community, because I've had a few people ask who aren't knitters, why do you do a knitting podcast? Like, they ask, is it because do I get paid? Or nope. I make zero money from this. I do it because I enjoy it, because I find it motivating for myself. Like, I get excited about the projects. I really enjoy finding podcasts that are similar, that seeing like a little peek into that person's life, and especially when I share the same taste, like in, what do you call it, the aesthetic. It's, I don't know, it's just nice. And sometimes when you're a stay-at-home mom, and for lots of other reasons, you get lonely, and it's fun to talk to somebody. Because you guys, when you comment on something that you enjoyed the podcast, or you share something, love it. It's really nice. So make sure if you have, anything to say, always comment below. Anyways, today's episode, I wanted to talk about two things. Loud car. It's quiet today, which is nice. I heard someone mowing next door, but then otherwise it's pretty quiet, except for the one loud vehicle that just drove by. But maybe you didn't hear it. Sometimes I notice that, like, I'll either say something, but then you can't really hear it in the podcast, or sometimes when I'm watching someone else, that happens, that you don't, like, they apologize for either being distracted or hearing something, and then, I didn't notice. But I wanted to talk about palette cleansers. I mentioned we all know what they are, but I mentioned on the last episode about how much I enjoy having something either when I've just finished a really complicated project or having multiple projects, whether like one that's a little more complicated and then one or two that are really nice for being able to like pick up and take with me when I know I want to knit on something, but I know I'll probably be distracted, like if I'm waiting for groceries at Walmart, or like in the Walmart pickup, or I'm gonna go wait for an appointment, something like that. Or when I'm watching TV in the evenings with my husband, it's nice to pick up something that's really simple and I can kind of knit without having to have my 100% focus, because I struggle with a couple things. I struggle with memory, and I struggle with distractions. The dryer's going off, so that's a distraction. So I made a bundle on Ravelry under my profile. It's jjdoucet, and I'll have the link in the description box below. But I made a bundle called Palette Cleansers, and I don't have a ton on there, but I'm gonna add more. But I wanted to share the ones that like immediately came to mind, and 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are things that I have personally made, and then there are others that like I have thought of right away, or that while I was looking through my patterns, like stuff that I have saved that I felt it would fall into that category. So let's talk about the one that I just finished so I can share it with you. Okay, so here is the first pattern that I thought of, is the Sophie scarf. It is, you'll find it under like on Ravelry, the little it's in the main page, I can't think of what it's called, but where it says like what's hot right now, those list of patterns. The Sophie scarf, there's lots of people sharing that pattern. Also this time of year, a lot of people are thinking about like gift knitting, and I'm gonna edit out anytime I take a drink where if I'm slurping, I don't slurp, but like, like swallowing noises. Some people are sensitive. I have a daughter who is sensitive to certain things, like she has certain sensory stuff, and it's made me more aware of it, and so I'll edit that out. So if there's something like a cut in a part, that's probably where I was taking a sip of something and didn't want the noise of it. So the Sophie scarf. This pattern comes with 2 different options. It is DK weight. I knit mine in a sport weight, and the 2 lengths are, it's like a small and a one that you would just wrap once and tie, or this is the longer version. And it's by Petite Knit, I should say that. I knit mine with, I shared it last time, let's see, Lotus Yarns Autumn Wind, and it is a cotton and cashmere blend, 90% cotton, 10% cashmere, because this is a gift knit, and the friend who I am knitting it for is super sensitive to things on her neck. And I know one time she bought herself and then me as a present a crocheted cowl that she bought on Etsy, and I remember her specifically getting cotton because she knew it wouldn't bother her neck. And she already always wears little neck scarves, and so I thought when I saw this pattern, I was like, this would be the perfect gift for her. And now that I've knit one, it was so fast. It makes a wonderful, because only other things on my needles, I was finishing up my classic ribbed hat for the Life Knit Aquatic knit along, and I was knitting on my Emerson for that knit along. And sometimes the Emerson there's lots of parts that are just relaxing to knit, but there's a few points where you're trying to like make sure you're paying attention so you're not like the neck shaping. And so I think specifically on patterns that for me are palette cleansers, it's either going to be ribbing, where I don't have like some people purling stresses them out or they just like they would rather just have where they're just doing stocking knit or knitting all the way and it creates garter. To me, that doesn't bother me. I don't mind doing ribbing as long as the project is small. Like it would be hard to do ribbing on like a long scarf or something crazy like that. But this is just garter, and it has a beautiful I-cord edge that's created on both sides. And then the option, I love that they have the option of 2 different lengths, because then you can just do a small one. And also it's so fun, because I think another thing that's great about knitting something that's a palette cleanser is the option to do something that's, if you're knitting that, like maybe you're knitting on another project that maybe it's not complicated, but it's taking forever, like it is a long-term kind of commitment, and you want something that's a quick knit, like that you will get use out of right away, that you're excited about, and that is simple. And this follows, I think this ticks all those boxes. So I don't wear this one. I think this length would be difficult to wear in your hair unless you I don't know, wore it a certain way. But my favorite, like what I would probably do, would be like this, and probably with my hair up, and then I don't know, I don't think you could go wrong with it. I love this color, but it would also equally be nice in something that's got, I mean, you could do an easy neutral or then something with a pop of color. So I think she's gonna love it. I haven't sent it yet because I gotta take pictures. I wanted to share it on here too. But, so that's the first pattern that came to mind. And then the second thing that I immediately thought of, and talking about this, I loved knitting this so much. I am gonna knit it. I wanna knit her a second, like I wanna knit her the smaller version just in case, because she does wear her hair up a lot with a handkerchief. And so I want to knit her a small, because this one to me, I mean, unless you knit it, you could go this way and then knit it with it like hanging down, or tie it with it hanging down, right? That would be fine. It's not, but holding it this way, like, I don't know, it wouldn't quite, it's a little bit long to make like a bow. Like, I don't know, it's kind of lumpy for that. So to me, I would knit it in the smaller length, and then you could just tie it where, that would be cute if you have your hair up or down, I guess. So I want to knit her the smaller length. I just gotta decide if it's the smaller one. It doesn't have to be cotton, I guess. Amazing Stash Buster. So that's another win-win. But I got this in a D-stash from a friend. It's Knit Picks Capra. Yeah, Capra in, I don't know this color. I don't have the little, I'll put it in the box or on the screen or something, but I had 3 skeins of this, and it is a cashmere merino blend, super soft. It's kind of heathered and just a really pretty fall color. And so I am knitting, I've only made a few things for my mom. I just ordered some yarn to make her a cardigan. I was gonna surprise her, but then I want to get her input on it, so I asked her about whether she would want a cardigan or a pullover, and she actually picked cardigan because she said she has always wanted a wool cardigan to like wear over blouses or dresses, which was surprising to me. I thought she was gonna pick pullover. And anyways, that yarn's coming. I'll share it when it comes. I just got a notification that it shipped. But as I was starting this, I was like, I want to give this to my mom. Sorry, there's like a shadow bar when I hold stuff up that falls right here. But I'm at our island in our kitchen. There's the dining area, and then there is a what do you call it? A light fixture that hangs over the island, and there's like a metal bar that kind of makes a shadow, which I feel like the spot is working good. Like I've got light. It's not full natural light, but there's a little bit of that happening, but that's okay. Anyways, I love the Sophie scarf. This is the Sophie shawl, and I bought the pattern so that I was gonna knit it for myself because I thought, ooh, I wanna knit something that's like, I'll share a picture of some of the finished ones, but it just looks like the perfect little, I'm not a huge shawl person. I think there's so many that are beautiful, and I have knit 2 and I loved them. One I frogged because I wanted it in a different yarn. The other one I haven't frogged and I love it. I wear it all the time. I gravitated as a beginner knitter towards cowls, and styling wise for an outfit, shawls aren't something that just the general public, like it's us knitters that love them, right? And we don't wear them traditionally, typically. Sometimes we do. I mean, when I think of a shawl, what I would want it for is honestly that. Like when I'm sitting and knitting, or in my, like watching TV with my husband, or I don't know, just so, I think at moments where I don't really want to go put on a jacket or a big sweater, but I just need something to like wrap around my neck or shoulders. Then my next shawl project is something I want to like satisfy that need. But this, I felt like was a really nice combo. Needs between like a scarf and a shawl. So anyways, if you love knitting one of these and you want a little bit more, she has a wrap, or you know, just if you want something that's going to take a little longer, you want to have a longer palette cleanser, there's that option too. Okay, so the other pattern that I was thinking of was the newsprint cowl, and it is a pattern that is free from Purl Soho, and I knit mine back in 2018, I think. Let's see. 2017. And it only took me a month. I started in October, finished in November, that's all I put. But I knit mine in Knit Picks Capretta, which is the fingering weight version of their Capra. So it's a cashmere merino blend, and I picked their traditional, the pattern, their original pictures for it were black and white because it's called the newsprint cowl. Also, I think they have it in like 2 different tone grays, which I think is so lovely. And I knit mine with a black and then a natural. So it's beautiful, beautiful sides. Like it has this I-cord edge, and then this is the one, like this is technically the wrong side, and then the right side is this way. And I shared this before in the podcast, I think earlier in the year, because I was wearing it that day. I didn't want you to hear the swallow, so I was like, how can I not swallow? But then that's the whole point of drinking. You have to swallow. Oh my goodness. You're supposed to carry the, that's the other thing that's nice, is you don't have a ton of ends to bind off because it's just 2 colors. And you're supposed to carry your yarn on this side since it's technically the wrong side. But I don't know why I couldn't figure it out when I was doing the directions. Like it always just, for me, just kept coming out to that side, but that's the part I wear at the back anyway. So what's really nice about this pattern is that it is, you're gonna need some long cords. The hardest part is honestly just casting on, because I guess it's a free pattern, so I can tell you. It is like 300 something stitches. Oh, I guess I don't have to specifically, it doesn't matter. It's a ton of stitches that you're casting on. So that part is kind of exhausting. Like a tip, if you are a beginner knitter, because I do think this is beginner knitter friendly. If you are a beginner knitter, is to you could either do every 50 or every 100 stitches you cast on, then put a stitch marker on your cord, like on your needles, and then keep casting on, because then if you lose count, which I do all the time, you can stop and count back, and you just count to the stitch mark. You're like, okay, this is 100 or this is 50, and it helps you not to lose your space or place, because it's really hard to count that many stitches over and over again. I had to look over the pattern for a second because I was trying to think of something. This is not an not an I-cord edge. I just realized. It is simply, you purl the first couple of rows, because you are knitting it in the round, so you purl the first couple of rows, and then even though while you're working, this side is going to be facing you, because then it enables you to knit. Like you're not having to knitting, or you can just knit in the round. So all of this is just knitting, and then you purl again just the last couple of rows, but it gives you like, you know, a little cutesy edge. Oh, I don't know if I put it on all the way, but I love it. Like, it's so easy to wear, and if you knit it in something deliciously soft, then it's incredible. And it's so cozy and warm. This is why I like a cowl. I know I'm not like, that opinion for me is not a popular opinion. A lot of knitters just love shawls, but I love a cowl. So that's my second pattern that I thought of. Okay, so the third project that would be a great palette cleanser is the Felix pullover. It is by Amy Christoffers, and it is knit in Aran weight. So if you have any worsted or Aran weight yarn, it says 600 to 1,000 yards. So you don't have to have a ton of yardage, which is really nice. And it also comes that you can do a cardigan, but that is a little different because you will have like knit and purl rows. But this, like the knit in the round areas, will be super simple, super quick, because it is worsted Aran weight, and just simple. But there is a really sweet little raglan detail here on the arm shoulder. I want to knit one, but I'm gonna leave off the detail. I'm going to just knit it without, just because personally I kind of want to wear it more as like a sweatshirt. So I'm thinking of, I'm hoping to join, I'm gonna join Casey from Young Folk Knits, her bougie sweatshirt knit along I think she said it was gonna start at the end of the year, and that's one of the sweaters that I was planning. I'm hoping to do two, because I'm hoping it'll go fast. Another pattern that I thought of for a great palette cleanser would be the half and half triangles wrap. It's a fingering weight. This is gonna be a long-term commitment project, unless you are a speedy knitter or a monogamous knitter. But this is something that if I do cast on another one, that I would have as my backup, just my palette cleanser when I'm not needing anything that requires too much focus. So for some people, not everyone, but for some people, sock knitting is a great palette cleanser, something that they like to have always just kind of a pair of socks on the needles. I picked out this pattern for two reasons. I chose the I'm So Basic socks by Summer Lee because it is free and it is a great beginner sock knitter pattern. Another idea that I had, because I want to knit more of them, I wear, when my hair gets longer, which is, I'm in mid-grow out stage again, I go back and forth between short hair and long hair. I love a good messy bun, and I am not one to wear one of those hats with a hole for a messy bun. And I mentioned how I get cold. Like I get cold all the time, and so I'm really starting to appreciate the qualities of wool to not have to wear a lot, but that how like it warms you up, especially if your head is covered, if your neck is covered, if your feet are covered. So wool socks, we've talked about things to wear on your neck, but I thought a headband was a nice idea because I love to go for walks. That's my thing. But if my hair is up in a bun, my ears get cold, but you can still put a headband on and stay cozy without having something smash in your hair. Also, I don't know, sometimes when your hair is longer, or like for mine, it's not quite, I don't have hair quite long enough. Like I can do like a little messy bun or something, or like a low pony or whatever if I wear my hat. But the hat rubbing on my hair, it's gonna like mess it up, like right there. Or sometimes it makes, like on my girls, they'll get, one of my daughters especially, her hair is such that it gets knotted so easily, and hats, like something about like where it rubs right there, it just is kind of awful. And so like when my hair was longer, if I wore a hat, I always put it in, like a side braid or something, or pigtails, and I'd wear my hat over it. But a headband, your hair can be up, your ears are still covered. There's lots of different kinds. The one I picked out was a free pattern that I had saved in my favorites. I've had it saved in my favorites for a little while. And when I saw it, I thought, this is something I'm gonna knit this year because I would love to have one. Stacy knit me a headband last year, and I wear it all the time. It's in a beautiful, I don't know what yarn she used, but it's so soft. She did knit, it's like in a vibrant color, so it's so fun. It's nothing I would have ever probably picked out, but I love wearing it because it like has a great contrast. It's like a, ooh, I'll just go get it. I'll go get it, I'll be back. Okay, I went and got the headband, but then I also found I remembered that the pattern came from Pom Pom issue number 38. It's the Root and Branches quarterly. And the pattern name, I can't pronounce, Brasiliande. I'll put it on the screen. But it is by Audrey Borrego, and it's so pretty. Look at that. So there's a couple different, and it's an Aran weight, so it also would be, but I don't know the pattern, so this is something that I haven't knit, but I know that Stacy knit like 4 of them in a short period of time. And though I've mentioned Stacy's a great, like a fast knitter, like she whips out projects like nothing, but also it's a headband. I mean, it's not really big. So here is look how pretty. I guess like this citrine kind of color. And it's just the right size to like cover your ear. I can't remember what you call, there's like the detail of the stitch. Super pretty. So the pattern that I was thinking of though, it's called Headband with a Twist, and it is by Morella Moments, and you knit it up in DK, and it is knit in English rib. So she mentions it's knit back and forth in the English rib, which is very warm and comfortable to wear, and then it just has a twist in the middle, so just similar to this, which says looks classy, but it hides your seam. So I have another, there's a couple of other headband patterns that the seam ends up being on the back. And I also have like a ready to wear one that I purchased because I wanted like I saw it and it was on sale, I don't know. Sometimes I feel guilty as a knitter when I buy something that's not hand knit. but it has a seam, and it drives me crazy. I'm like, there's a way to do it without the seam. So this pattern, the other one in the rib, I think it's like super classic, really beautiful, and also would be one of those like something you get gratification, satisfaction from, because you're gonna have a project that will make a great gift. It'll be great for you, and it's not gonna take a long time to finish. I did find a pattern that is free. It's called the Ruby Beach Headband, and it is published in Tolt Yarn and Wool. You go through their website to download the pattern for free. It is fingering weight, but you only need 137 yards for the tied version, and then they also have a version that's just like a little button, because you can wear it with the wider part at the back and then here, or reverse it. It's super cute. It is just garter stitch and a free pattern. So I'll put, of course, a picture here, but I thought that one deserved a nice little mention, because I think I am going to knit that one with a tied version for my friend, just to try to test out the pattern. Of course, also it would make a really great gift knit. I am going to add a few more as I find them. So if you want to check out this list, this bundle, go on my Ravelry. I will put a link in the description box below, and you can check out that bundle, check out those patterns, and see if there's something you wanted to add to your projects. Also, if you have any more ideas of something that you've worked on and you thought would be great to add to this list, let me know, comment, and I will add it. And I think I am going to, my watch says that it's 66 out, so I am going to go sit on the porch and knit for a little bit. I do need to eat some lunch. I did not do that. And that's all. So I will see you guys on here next time. Thank you so much for joining in, for watching, and hope you guys are having a great fall, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. I can hold you in my arms. I will carry you on my shoulders as long as I'm